Stars, once again, toxic British media is portraying Meghan Markle as some rude, bossy harridan when she simply was rearranging the photo at that polo event to best feature the person in charge of the nonprofit organization for which they raised money, Sentabale. Duchess Meghan has been wrongfully accused of being bossy at the polo match. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's polo date in Miami was fantastic. Every photo from the event was gorgeous. Meghan looked rich, Harry looked hot, and they are such a watchable and charismatic couple. Once the photos and videos came out, people were commenting with stuff like, yeah, I can see why they were mad, and get away from your toxic family so you can flourish. Whenever Harry and Meghan show up somewhere looking happy, wealthy, tan, and gorgeous, the haters lose their ever-loving minds, which is where we are now. Those miserable people did a forensic examination of every video and photo, and they are trying to make Meghan had an awkward interaction into a thing. This is the interaction. That guy that got the boot from toxic British media claims that Meghan is bossing around people at the, closing photo, and it's just not true. The woman who was being asked to stand in a different place was Dr. Sophie Chandauka, and she is the chair of Sentabale. The whole polo match was a fundraiser to benefit Sentabale, and they brought in over $1 million incidentally. So Dr. Chandauka was brought on stage after the match so they could all pose for photos. Dr. Chandauka somewhat awkwardly tried to pose beside Harry, perhaps unaware of what angle the photos would be taken at. Meghan is overheard saying, "Do you want to come over here?" as she motioned to her side, Meghan's left. Like, have you guys never tried to coordinate a group photo where people don't know how to position themselves? It was a brief moment where Meghan and Dr. Chandauka were trying to work out where to stand. That's it. But now the Mail and other outlets are trashing Meghan for being rude or bossy, utterly asinine. Also, I've seen the derangers suggest that Meghan didn't want Dr. Chandauka to stand next to Harry. Please. Meghan knows her husband, Harry, was not letting go of Meghan whatsoever. Meghan had no choice but to move closer to Harry and make space for Dr. Chandauka on her other side. They also coordinated the photos so that the three women were in the center, bracketed by the polo dudes. Feminism? Oh, and in a different moment, Meghan wasn't on the stage and Harry and Dr. Chandauka posed side by side. You can see toxic British media scraping the bottom of the barrel to try to invent some moment, some idea, some thread they can make into 1,000 or 2,000 word story so that they can get those sweet, sweet clicks, views, and coins. And it's just not working. On to the comments. Mani says, right, meh, another day. The sun rises and these people found a new angle to push hate. Shrug, it was a great event which raised a tremendous amount of donations for Lesotho and Botswana children. Never seek to learn about someone from their enemies. I don't look to any of the British media or media pundits or any journalists or TV personality for any information about Meghan. If it is UK or UK adjacent and her name is mentioned, I dismiss it. The media establishment there has been consistent with one thing since she met her now husband. They don't like her, and they don't want her to be seen in any positive light at all, and they want her not to thrive. So I see that they will always aim to pollute every narrative and leverage their hate-filled approach for money and publicity. As a consumer, I have made peace with it, and therefore never take my perspective of her from anything or anyone associated with the UK. I don't see them as a credible, nor trustworthy, nor reliable source with anything related to her, and possibly not just with her. The beauty of Apple News is that I have trained the algorithm not to show me any British or Australian media sourced news about her. It is what it is. They were like vultures with this angle on X, because as soon as they found this twist and saw it was tracking with audience engagement, they all gleefully landed and gobbled it up and started spreading it. I am sure both ladies know it's not what the media and clout chasers are saying. We see many pictures of positive engagement. No need to try convincing the enemy of someone that their view of them is distorted by their own negative, hate-filled agenda. Just have to pray that God bless these journalists and all her enemies with love, light, and positivity to emerge from this dark space they have volunteered themselves to reside in. Love and light to all. Amen to that. Like, it's just crazy how fact-free a lot of this reporting is. Laura D adds, exactly. They've spent years trying to find actual evidence to support their Meghan is bossy control freak narrative, and they thought they finally had their gotcha moment. Ridiculous. The bigger story is, why are we paying millions for the fit members of the royal family to sit at home on their backsides? It would be great if we had videos or photos of the paid royals organizing a photo shoot after spending the best part of the day with people or nonprofits. Kate and Charles are ill, and we're being told how hard William and Camilla are working to fill in the gaps. I know I may have missed something, but neither of them have done a full week's work since the announcements. Both of them are getting away with a couple of hours here and there and being lauded as hard-working. Embarrassing. A comment from Jemmy. If Dr. Chandako had gone to the other side, she would have been stuck between Harry and another polo player, which would have made the picture awkward. Meghan gestured to her to move to the other side for a better position, but all the derangers could see was Meghan trying to control the lady. They are so hateful. On Twitter, some even went as far as saying that Prince Harry should have married someone as well educated as this lady. Dr. Chandaka is a lawyer, entrepreneur, and works as a risk manager for Meta, in addition to being the CEO for Sentabale, to which I responded that they would also project the same hatred oaths on this lady, being that Meghan is just as well read as this lady. As someone said on this platform, they are low-life bottom-feeder ghouls who have self-esteem issues. I agree. They're definitely triggered by any woman of color who is successful, accomplished, attractive, and doing worthwhile things, right? You got to draw a mustache on the beautiful picture just so that you can, get it up, sleep at night, feel that your favorite is still the best, even when reality is biting you constantly and telling you the opposite is true. Crazy. But they won't relent, right? If Black women aren't obsequious and engaged in menial jobs, they're just triggered. They're triggered and crying into their pillow, and they're going to fix it by lying and making things up. And I agree. You can't believe anything that comes from British media, Australian media, anything controlled by Lordrothermere, Geordie Grieg, Rupert Murdoch. Just throw it in the trash, use it to wrap fish or to line the cat box, because that's all it's good for. Let me know what you think.